afternoon and welcome. My name is Deshaun Rice. I'm a liberal arts student at Nashua Community College. And the other day, I was tasked with creating a podcast. Now, the podcast can be any local event, historical or current, that I feel people should know about. So today, I came up with something I'd like to call Diamond Diplomacy, where I'm going to take you on the brief journey of the 1946 Nashua Dodgers and the two men who would go on to stand side by side with Jackie Robinson, not only as Brooklyn Dodger teammates, but as teammates in their uphill battle to break baseball's color barrier.
Play ball!
Now, we've all heard of Jackie Robinson, but what if I told you that there were two other future Hall of Fame talent black players who were also breaking barriers before Jackie even hit the big leagues or stepped foot on Ebbets Field? And not in Brooklyn, or even in Montreal, the Dodgers AAA affiliate, but in a little mill town in New Hampshire. In 1946, Nashua, New Hampshire became home to the first integrated professional baseball team of the 20th century when Roy Campanella and Don Newcombe suited up for the Nashua Dodgers, a farm team of the Brooklyn Dodgers of the Class B New England League, and quietly made history. To help me dig deeper into this story, I was recently able to meet with and pick the brains of two people who know a lot about baseball, local history, and humanities. Professor Stephanie Roper of Nashua Community College and her husband Scott Roper. Let's rewind to 1946 to set the scene. World War II had just ended and citizens were excited, looking to the future with hope. The U.S. was adjusting to peace, but tensions at home, especially around race, were far from settled. Jim Crow laws were still in full effect across much of the country. Black soldiers were returning home, expecting equal treatment after fighting for freedom, only to find the same discrimination. In Nashua, New Hampshire, a small, mostly white mill town not exactly known for diversity. But it had one thing going for it, a love of baseball and a minor league team ready to make history. Let's talk about the players. Roy Campanella, a catcher with a cannon for an arm and a calm presence. He had already made a name for himself in the Negro Leagues. Don Newcombe, tall, powerful, just 19 years old when he joined the Nashua Dodgers. A right-handed pitcher, seen as an unpolished, high-potential prospect with significant velocity. A seemingly perfect combination. These two young black men with big dreams and the talent to back it up would first encounter each other in the Negro Leagues, when Newcombe, working in relief out of the bullpen, would be set to face Roy Campanella as the two future battery mates would do battle for the first time. Behind the scenes, the man with the masterful plan was Branch Rickey, the visionary executive of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Rickey wasn't just trying to win games, he was trying to change baseball forever, and he knew he was about to upset everyone with how he wanted to do it. Everyone knows about him recruiting Jackie Robinson, but what's often forgotten is that he was laying groundwork all over the country, meticulously scouting and choosing players he felt could handle the job, with Nashua being used as an integral piece of his process. You may find yourself asking, what makes someone the best fit for the job? Well, just like Jackie, Roy and Don were more than just athletes. They had the character, the courage, and the charisma to take on racism, both on and off the field. They didn't back down, and they didn't lash out. They let their game speak loud and clear. The upbringing of the two men and their exposure to different scenarios made the two men perfect for the job in their own ways. Don grew up attending integrated schools and playing sports with and against white competition in New Jersey, and would go on to play 2 seasons with the Newark Eagles of the Negro League, debuting at 17. As for Roy, he attended segregated schools in Philadelphia and would go on to make his own Negro League debut at the age of 15 with the Washington/Baltimore Elite Giants. Despite the two men being from extremely different backgrounds, it's exactly just that made these two men perfect for the job. So, now that we know why Don and Roy, that leaves us asking, why Nashua? Well, Nashua wasn't Branch Rickey's first choice. To sum up how the two men, who were arguably big league ready, ended up in Nashua playing for a farm team that was roughly equal skill to that of today's AA farm teams, I feel the Society for American Baseball Research puts it best. Russell Bergtold writes, "The Battery Mates were slated to report to the Danville Dodgers of the 3I League, but league president Tom Fairweather reportedly stated that he would rather close the league than to integrate it. In a desperate move, Ricky contacted Buzzy Bavasi, the general manager of the Nashua Dodgers in the New England League, who replied, 'If they can play ball better than what we have, then we don't care what color they are.' As it turns out, the city was just far enough removed from the intense racial climate of the South that integration just might work without severe uproar from the locals. And since the Nashua Dodgers were managed by Buzzy Bavasi, a man who respected talent above all else, he wanted to win, and Roy and Don could help him do just that. You may expect at least some sort of backlash, but Nashua surprised everyone. Undoubtedly, expectations were high for the two men. Maybe unfairly high, considering at least one of the two men was an established Negro League budding star. But regardless of expectations, the two men killed it. Campanella batted .290 with 13 home runs, while Newcombe pitched to a 2.21 ERA. The team won games, Roy and Don delivered, and the fans? They came around. According to the Ropers, while it wasn't perfect, the city largely embraced them. Teammates respected them. Fans cheered them. They were the new larger-than-life heroes in town, and the fans loved every moment of it. History was made, quietly, but powerfully. As for the team's lasting legacy, the Nashua Dodgers would go on to fold a few years later and be forgotten to time for a stretch before the once Milltown turned city began to take pride in the history the two men made in their brief time here. Roy Campanella went on to become a 3-time MVP, 8-time All-Star, a World Series champion, and a Hall of Famer. As for Don Newcombe, he became a Rookie of the Year, a 1-time MVP, a World Series champion, and the first ever recipient of the Cy Young Award. And as for Nashua, it became the first town to desegregate pro baseball in the 20th century. A small, insignificant place with an integral role to multiple larger legacies. As I wrap up, I would just like to take a moment to give a special thank you to anyone who may have lent me their time and ears, as well as both Dr. Stephanie Roper and her husband Dr. Scott Roper for both their time and assistance in my research on the 1946 Nashua Dodgers. I hope the story was enjoyable and was able to let you in on a fun fact from the local area that should be recognized and celebrated more. Until next time, I'm Deshaun Rice, and thank you for tuning in to Diamond Diplomacy.
Clear as day when I